So this is Unit 1, Module 3, Lesson 3, Documenting Code. So let's talk about how do you end up documenting code. What does that mean? Wait for that bell. So documenting code. There are a couple ways to document code in Python. The first method is using the single hashtag inside of Python. You have to put a single hashtag on a single line of code. You can't use that to block off multiple lines of code. So let's take a look at what that looks like in EarSketch. So in EarSketch, we've seen this before. We used the hashtag to represent our header text where we listed that this is Python. We would type in a script name, my code, type in your author name, and a description. This is some program. So this is an okay way of commenting, but if you have several lines to comment out, this becomes issues because you have to put in a hashtag for every single line of code, and that becomes a little bit of a pain. Especially when you want to block out huge lines of code, and then you just want to do it temporarily because you're debugging something, you're trying to figure something out, and you want to make that code disappear within the program. This would be a pain in the neck to have to go through and put in all these hashtags and then go back and take them all back out again. So there is another method for debugging inside of Python. So the hashtag is used for short descriptions, commenting out single lines of code, notes or placeholders like this is where I left off, go back and take a look at this, or this is a spot where I need to research, there's a problem here, or I'm not quite done this. Little notes for yourself that maybe you go back and take out later, or a comment for somebody to look at in the future. We'll talk about commenting, why you should comment, more in a couple minutes. The other method is using a multi-line comment, and there's two ways to do multi-line comments in Python. It is using the 3 single quotes or 3 sets of double quotes, and anything that follows either one of these becomes a comment, no matter how many lines it is. And the only way to end the comment is to do this symbol again or do this symbol again. So let's see what that looks like in EarSketch. So I have my EarSketch program here. Suppose, for example, I wanted to comment out just about everything. Well, I could do these 3 single quotes, and all of a sudden, everything gets commented out. Nothing is going to work at all. But suppose I just wanted to comment out from here to here. Notice that this is the comment section, it's in yellow, and then these two are still in their original white color, so they will still run and compile. So we could run this, and this section of code will be totally ignored. So this is really, really useful when you're trying to debug sections of your code. So we use it for larger descriptions of multiple lines. Instead of just doing hashtags on every single line, you could just do the 3 quotes and then type in as much as you want. Maybe it's a whole paragraph. Take advantage of word wrap and all of that, and then put in the 3 quotes to end that. You can use it to comment out large sections of code that you want to use when you're debugging. Maybe you want to comment out an entire function that's not working correctly, and you're trying to narrow down exactly where the problem is, and sometimes using that technique is helpful. Or you're commenting out a function that isn't necessary in a particular implementation, but you don't want to delete the code. You just want to comment it out and make it clear that this is not something that is being used in the code. So another kind of documenting is documenting on a more universal scale. And documenting is also done in terms of a language documenting. Oh, I almost forgot when to comment. So before we dive into documenting, what I want you to do is take a look at the video in Blackboard entitled, When Should You Comment? Should you comment your code? This is actually a really good video, so watch that video, and then we'll come back on with another video in a minute.